because of some switch. I think that was the plan.
Traditional here with the Pistons, though, point guard on point guard.
That is Paul George. Back from his suspension, drives, gets to the rim, flips it up, no, hits the deck, and they call the foul.
And LeBron James.
First free throw for Paul George is up and in, and it was for his mental health. 2 free throws fall. There's Nick Nurse, the head coach of the 76ers. Bobby Jackson, one of his assistant coaches right there. Great player at University of Minnesota. Backdoor cut by Duncan Robinson off the glass and slammed through by Asar. Was that a design play, Gregory?
That was a design play, and it was worked to perfection. You know, everybody synced up. Timing just perfect.
So it's 2-2 in Philadelphia. Paul George with a handle. Cross court to Edgecombe. Edgecombe to the baseline and buries it. He's dangerous. All these guys can fill it up.
Yeah, all 5 guys out there with the exception of Andre Drummond, who's become a much better three-point shooter, folks. You might see it in this game, but the rest of the guys for the 76ers can all score with the basketball. They don't need help.
Pistons get a deuce back from Jalen Duren. It's 4-4. That's Tyrese Maxey. Quick as a jet. Down the lane, off the high glass with a gun, and it goes. That was sensational.
The thing about Maxey, he can jump off either foot to score.
Right hand, very, very difficult to handle. They average 17, and that's pretty good when you're usually the third guy. Remember, it was Joel Embiid, it was James Harden for a while. Tobias was like the third in the pecking order.
Made both free throws at 6-6 after 2 minutes. Maxey gets a screen from Andre Drummond, missed the 3. Rebound, Tobias. Brings it to forecourt. Jalen Duren bounces to Tobias, gets to the rim for a jam. Take that, Philly fans. It's 8-6 Pistons.
Pistons are cutting it up like they've been doing of late.
Oh, yeah. And from the sideline, however, Paul George long guns it down. It's 9-8 Sixers. Some guys who can flat out play, starting the game with one highlight after another. Pistons inside. A lob to JD and a jam. Danis got him the ball. He threw it down. It's 10-9 Pistons.
This game's had a quarter worth of highlights in the first 2 minutes.
Isn't that the truth?
George from the baseline. Tough fall away, but he fills it up. It's 11-10 Philadelphia. Danis to forecourt. Tobias against Oubre. Pivots. Gives it up. Gets it back baseline. Sends it and scores it.
Tobias is doing exactly what he should do in front of a hostile crowd. You just perform. Let your game do the talking.
Ignore these fools. Oubre on top to Edgecombe. Andre wants to screen, then backs off. Edgecombe guarded by Duncan Robinson. Spins to the elbow, fires short. Rebound Jalen Duren. Danis flies to forecourt, fires baseline, and fills it up.
He looked like Tyrese Maxey on that play.
Sure did.
I mean, he jetted the ball up the floor.
And a sweet shot. It's 14-11 Pistons. Paul George to the foul line. Paul George rises and fires and fills it up.
I don't think the Jet...
Probably relatively expensive, but what a souvenir. Andre Drummond flips to Edgecombe. Edgecombe with a fadeaway, no. JD with a rebound to Danis. Danis flies to the rim, fouled along the way.
Fouls on B.J. Edgecombe. That's his first, team third.
Pistons have scored 8 of their 9 trips to forecourt. Double clutch gun from the lane for Duncan Robinson.
Are you kidding me? Hang time, Duncan Robinson? He had enough.
That's
definitely
a sweet set shooter.
Yeah, definitely shot that on the way down.
He's got more game than anybody. Great to have Duncan Robinson as a Detroit Piston. Edgecombe topside now against him on the wing. And Paul George misses, but Andre gets it back. Corner feed, and Maxey buries it.
That hurts. And it ends up right in the hands of Andre Drummond. They come over with 3 points.
Tobias backs on Edgecombe. Fires, it won't fall. One tap by Asar, and it's up and in.
Like a pogo stick, bouncy, bouncy. He jumped twice. Everybody else jumped once.
Maxey sprints to the baseline. Throws up a prayer. And
Dribble, he can accelerate hard to guard.
missed the first.
Pistons too deep at every position. T is in TWO. Too deep. Two people deep, seemingly at every position.
And as far as Philadelphia is concerned, they are 2-0 deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Free throws go for Maxey, 21-17 Pistons. Herder to Danis. Kevin Herder with a long gun. It is off the rim. Andre Drummond boards it. Maxey has it against Assar. Andre gets it on the wing. Hands to Paul George. Shot clock at 10. George backs up against Herder. Andre screens, gets it. Dishes. Wide open miss for Oubre, but
Andre Drummond on that tip right there did his thing, George. Made a nice pass and then got to the offensive glass.
Herder's open, that's short, but Danis gets it back, flips it up and draws a foul. And Dominic Barlow check in for Philadelphia, as does Quentin Grimes. Karras reverts in the ball game for the Pistons. Trip to the stripe makes it 23-19. Maxey from the paint. He can flat out score and can win almost every track meet. Danis bumped by it.
It's about what you intended to do, and you didn't intend maybe to make that
Perfect on the second. Pistons 24, the Sixers 21. Just under 5 to play in the first. Tyrese Maxey against Danis. That matchup we talked about. Maxey steps back, no shot there. He'll cut to the basket. Threw up a wild shot, hit the deck. It's off the iron to Kevin Herder. Herder calls for a deep left corner. Long gun in and out. Rebound Danis to Tobias. Outside Karis LeVert. Want to go inside to JD. Batted by the Sixers. Picked up in the corner by Danis. And he's bumped him. First is up and in. Now message from the Southeast Michigan.
He played there. They don't give that to you. Bona positive.
They did. Kelly Oubre to forecourt. Grimes fires topside. It's off iron. Tapped by Paul Reed to Kevin Herder. Way up it goes to Ron Holland for a score. Hustle man with a score.
Last year, told me this morning, learned how to play winning basketball right here. Understood what his role was on a winning team. Said it was good for him. And in talking with Nick Nurse, he said nobody worked harder than Paul Reed.
Good stuff. Offensively rebounding the ball. He had 10 offensive rebounds in the game just a short while ago against Sacramento.
Non-drafted player. Makes both free throws.
I think I said Sacramento. No, he had those 10 offensive rebounds. 16 total rebounds in the game against the Clippers. A little bit better competition.
Yes, it is. Karis LeVert almost lost it. Finds Kevin Herder down the lane. Runs up the hook. No. Batted around. Controlled by Marcus Sasser. Topside it goes to Karis. Clock at 7. He drives. Double clutch Glasser. Good. Very well played first quarter. Well, really both teams. Philly turned it just once. The Pistons turned it just twice. Looking for a shot. Paul George has to give it up. Now Barlow gets to the rim, reverses and misses. Rebound slapped out of bounds by Bona. Pistons led by 12, 41-29 with 22 seconds to play in the first. Jalen Duren into the corner to Karis LeVert. Karis with a drive. Fires from in front. Around and down. Karis LeVert is smoking, folks.
He is smoking, George, and he's on one off the dribble. You know, he's got Philly all crossed up trying to figure out which way is he going to go, which hand is he going to use to shoot it.
And he is slick. We're a minute into the second, and the Pistons lead 43-31. Paul George launches and connects. Big time range.
Still has game. Still has plenty of game, folks. Paul George.
One of the all-time leaders in threes made, despite missing all the time he's missed with injuries and that latest suspension. Kevin Huerter drives, fires from in front, fills it up. Good. Free throws goes 45-36. JD trying to get to the basket. A hand on the shot for Philly's Bona. Bona inside for a score. Adem Bono from Nigeria is 6'10" and 235. Now it's 45-38. Little Philly comeback, but a baseline gun goes for Javonte Green, and the Pistons go back up by 9. 9:42 to play in the half. Paul George against Javonte. George to the elbow. Backs up to the wing. Top side. Bona passes on the shot inside for Barlow. Couldn't power it up and in.
Barlow's made two good moves off the dribble along the baseline. Hasn't scored on either. Didn't score on either.
Pistons got him stopped. Get the ball. JD with a miss. Edgecombe to forecourt. Edgecombe to the basket. Lays it up and in. 6'4", 183rd pick in the draft last June out of Baylor. 47-40. Pistons with a lead. Just under 9 minutes to play in the first half. Karis LeVert from the wing with a long gun. It is off the heel and back. Paul George launches and he connects. Man, can he...
Last night, there was some question as to whether or not he, like Joel Embiid, would go 2 nights in a row. I know they're happy he's out there. Paul George.
Takeaway by Philly. Bona inside for a score.
The winner will take it all. And that's what Michigan and Arizona are looking at tonight.
Paul George with another hoop. It's 49-47 Pistons. Ron Howland from the corner splashes it down. Good for Ron. And good for the Pistons. They're up 52-47. Trying to get to the rim and laying it up and laying it in is Cameron Payne. 52-49 Philadelphia. Just under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Karis LeVert's pass swiped by George to Edgecombe to Cameron Payne on the way from three land. No.
Oh, Fisher.
Out of bounds. 7 to play in the first half in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia zoning. They've shown it a couple of times in this game, if I'm not mistaken.
AD in the middle of the zone. Duncan Robinson bounces back into Jalen Duren. From the sideline. 3 ball won't go for Javonte Green. Philly to forecourt. Edgecombe. Rattled it in. That shot did not want to drop, but it finally did.
Normally when they're short, they don't drop. That one was short, but still was able to bounce up and crawl over the rim.
52-52. Great bounce inside by Danis to Asar Thompson. The guys who can make plays, they made a great play there. Pistons by 2.
That's 2 really nice cuts off the 3-point sideline for Asar Thompson in this game, and what a pretty finish that was.
Paul George pushed off on his drive. George at the line. Right or wrong, he's at the cuts the Pistons lead to 1. Missed the next. Rebound Paul Reed. Paul George has 18 points. Tyrese Maxey next with 14. Nobody for the Pistons in double digits, but the Pistons lead by 1. Tobias from the corner. Off iron, tapped outside of Paul Reed. Tobias drives it, dishes to Danis. This is a long gun, in and out.
Any day.
You win a lot more games with him than you would without him. Edgecombe gets to the lane, shovels it inside for Andre. The pass got away though. Tobias has it, ahead to Asar. Tried to deep bounce it, and Paul Reed couldn't quite get there. Andre did.
Andre still has good quick hands on defense and alert too. He was on that list you just called out, George.
Oh, yeah.
A center getting over 50 steals. Showed why right there.
Edgecombe missed, and Dana Jenkins made.
And now the Pistons lead by 3. 4:25 to play in the half. Edgecombe against Danis. Edgecombe gives it up to Tyrese Maxey. From the corner, Oubre ties the... Paul Reed against Andre. Half hook on the run. Yes! Nice job by B-Ball Paul. And the Pistons are up 2. Exciting first half in Philadelphia. And a knockaway. Pistons have big-time numbers. Paul off the glass on a reverse, and it's good.
You notice how the Pistons slowed it up. Asar was running hard on the left lane. Paul Reed a little bit on the right lane, and the ball handler slowed it up to make that one defender commit before dropping it off.
Danis was calm, cool, and collected running the break. Pistons 60, Philly 56. Maxey rises and fires. It's off iron.
Good D.
Rebound Tobias. To Danis Jenkins. Danis grabbed as he gets... Duncan Robinson checks in. Inbounds to Jalen Duren. Outside to Danis. JD hands to Duncan Robinson. Pump fake, and now a long gun. It goes. How about that?
We're underway in the second half. Pistons with the basketball and that 11-point lead. Danis to the baseline. Scoops off the high glass. No. Follow up by Jalen Duren. He's right there amongst the best. Austin Reeves, Devin Booker, then it's JD ahead of Jalen Brown. Free throws up and in for JD, as you would expect these days at 73-60. Pistons with the lead, Philly with the ball at their place, and a steal. What else is new? Asar Thompson. Duncan Robinson with a long gun. This one's off the heel. Paul George handles it, bounces it ahead to Oubre. Tyrese Maxey to Edgecombe. Deep to Andre Drummond for a dunk. Good execution by Philly.
It was, and the quickness paying off for Maxey on the dribble. Drew the defense away from Andre Drummond to drop it off to him.
Pistons lead 73-62. Lob to Asar.
9 assists from Danis Jenkins, folks.
Asar was flying to the rim. I mean, he was in flight. Maxey on the other end, however, does what play here in the third. The action's in Philadelphia. Danis inside for JD to the corner, and a 3 ball for Duncan Robinson's around and out. They just thought he was knocked down trying to rebound. Maxey down the lane, scores it.
George, give that man a speeding ticket.
Yeah, that's more than 20 miles an hour over. It's like those fools going up I-75 at 2 o'clock in the morning.
There's 3 cut dunks in this game so far.
Asar flicked away twice.
Going in the wrong direction with the clock winding down.
Got the forecourt. He still has it in the lane. Floating gun, in and out, tap, no. Got the rebound and tried to find Duncan Robinson on the sideline, but his pass is out of bounds. Philly to forecourt in a hurry. A miss for Paul George. Duncan Robinson finds Tobias. Shot fake and a drive. Off to JD, up and in. And the Pistons go back up by 10. Jalen Duren has 11. 77-67 Pistons, just under 9 to play in the third. Tyrese Maxey to the lane. Poked away. Shot clock's at 6 as Edgecombe recovers in backcourt. Now it's at 3. Now it's at 2. He'll launch a 3, and it's way wide. Good D by the Pistons, but good D by Edgecombe. He stole the ball. Paul George had it blocked on the drive. But they'll call a foul on Asar.
He got the ball first, any contact after that deemed marginal.
You called that, Gregory. Danis cross courts to Duncan Robinson, gets it back. Drives it to the elbow. Asar from the corner. To Danis for a long gun. It goes. That's a bad boy right there. Danis Jenkins.
He is under control. He is running the offense for his team. He is the orchestrator out there for the Pistons.
That was a nasty three. Paul George cross-court pass, swipe by Tobias. To the basket, drew a foul. Makes the first. For record expungement support, job opportunities, housing resources, and health services. Scan the QR code to register right now. Tobias knocks them both down. It's 82-67. 7.5 left in the third. Tyrese Maxey. There's Barlow on top. Quentin Grimes down with the basketball against Duncan Robinson. From the baseline, forces. It's in and out.
That was great defense by Duncan Robinson. He handled all the dribble fakes, and he got a big...
John Beilein would be proud of the young man he coached at Michigan. Shot won't fall. Here goes Maxey to the rim. They've won 8 of their last 11. They're a playoff team as of now at 6 in the East. Tobias, double clutch gun goes. Tobias tearing up these Boo Birds in Philly. He has a dozen. Paul George's pass.
Batch these 76ers.
Tobias from the elbow, turns, fires, it's in, it's out. Off it comes to Quentin Grimes.
Man, if they go into a zone, I'd like to see Tobias get that same exact spot right there at the free throw line. He's the perfect guy to have in that position against the zone.
Dribbling into traffic. Philly only has 2. 5:55 to play in the third. Tyrese Maxey looks for George, posting aside. George rises and fires and fills it. He was totally under control, and he now has 20. 84-69 Pistons. Marcus Sasser with the basketball. Flips it up from in front and fills it up.
You know what everyone's doing tonight, George, for the Pistons? Their jobs.
Doing what they do best, too. Here's a swipe by Tobias. Off to Duncan Robinson. Back to Tobias. Deep to Asar for a dunk. The Pistons are wearing out the 4 field goals and 5 turnovers in this quarter. Their lead was at 14-12 early. Pistons have their largest lead right now. And in Philadelphia. Maxey snaps a pass to Grimes. Barlow with a drive. Squashed by Jalen Durham. Kevin Huerter with a bounce to Karis LeVert. Sideline to Paul Reed checks in. Maxey with the basketball. Looking for a shot. Gets in the air and knocks it down. Great one-on-one play by Tyrese Maxey.
Great one-on-one player.
Yeah. 93-76.
Still in the zone.
Kevin Huerter into the corner to Paul Reed. Launches off iron. Edgecombe with the rebound. Grimes had it flicked away on the sideline. Billy inbounds to Bona. Edgecombe on the perimeter now. Maxey, cat and mouse with Paul Reed. Paul Reed slapped the ball away.
Into a defender, cause contact, and then get the foul as a result, as Maxey just did. He does that a lot. He's good at it. And
a quarter to play. Danis Jenkins with the basketball, doubled. Topside Kevin Huerter drives. Off the high glass with a gun, no. Rebound, gets away from JD, forecourt to Edgecombe. Leaning hook, no, got his own rebound though. Outside to Grimes, Paul George has it. Now Barlow gives to Edgecombe. Edgecombe with a crossover, and now a long gun. It won't go. Slammed through on the follow though by Bona. Now it's 95-83.
it looked like the Pistons froze on that play. Nobody went for the glass.
Danis rocks the dribble. Danis shoots a pass to Karis LeVert. Trying to tightrope the sideline and did. Got it to JD. Left hands it up. No. Karis with a rebound. Ron Holland to the basket. Somehow that didn't go. He's on the floor.
Man, if that had gone, it would have given me a chance to talk about Dr. J.
There's a lot of great stuff here in Philly, as most everybody knows. Paul George to the basket. Missed on the gun on the run.
This crowd's electric here in Philadelphia. They're trying to get this team going.
Karis LeVert against Barlow. Bumped as he had. Kevin Huerter will bounce it on top to Jalen Duren. Pistons 95, Philly 83. Karis LeVert, twisting, turning, gun won't go. Barlow boards it.
George, I don't know how exactly long it's been, but the Pistons have only scored 2 points in probably 6 minutes.
A little nerve-wracking here. Philadelphia's pass swiped by Danis. Huerter from the sideline for three, and it's through.
That's the way to bust out of it.
Biggest basket in a long, long time for the Pistons to go up 98-83. 9:34 to play. Grimes with a drive. Grimes misses the shot. Rebound tapped by the Sixers, but controlled by Ron Holland. Round to forecourt. Ends up in the hands of Danis for a corner gun. It won't go. Edgecombe with the rebound. Paul George with the basketball. 9:09 left. George down the lane. Half hook on the run off the glass. Won't go. Somehow got his own rebound and then took an extra step, but he's going to be the recipient of a foul call on the Pistons. Edgecombe on top. To the baseline. No shot there. Sideline of Paul George. Thought he could convince the officials he was fouled. Lost the ball. 8:42 left. Danis Jenkins to the elbow. Fires. No. Rebound comes long to Kevin Huerter. This for three. That won't go through. Scramble for the rebound. Pistons touched it last. Philadelphia with the basketball. The Pistons do have a 15-point lead. And
Drummond setting the screen on Ron Holland.
George, deep bounce to Andre. Missed the shot. Hit the floor. Pistons with a one-man advantage. Andre hustles to catch up. Pistons to Jalen Duren. JD to the basket. Reverse no. Tapped up and in by the hustle man Ron Holland. But there may have been a foul first. JD at the line. Now we're at 7:59 to play. First free throw just a member-only merchandise discounts and exclusive events like Meet the Team. Head to Pistons.com/memberships to lock in right now. Jalen Duren got 1 for 2.
Yeah, Pistons may be having a hard time scoring, but their defense is making it very difficult for Philadelphia. Andre in that corner will take that three. Decides to pass it off.
Maxey for three. Off the heel. Kevin Huerter with a rebound way up to Ron Holland to the basket. Shoved hard.
Throws.
That's one of our cameramen. Holland missed the first.
2 missed free throws at any time during the game.
By the other team.
They have to wait on it.
Quiet down, folks. Ron Holland scores on the second. Pistons hit the century mark. They're up 100-83. 7.5 to play. Maxey to forecourt. On the sideline to Oubre. Topside Paul George. George now working against Danis Jenkins. Long stride down the lane. Nearly lost it. Got it back. Gives to Andre Drummond. Couple of up fakes, and the Pistons knock it away.
He brought it down.
Paul Reed.
He brought it down, and you just can't do that on a crowd, and you certainly can't do it on a crowd of Pistons.
Karis LeVert with a drive into the corner to Danis. Danis finally lost it. The Philadelphia 76ers rip it away. Edgecombe on the drive and a miss. Pistons were right there with him. It was not an easy lay-in. And the Pistons come to forecourt. And we'll take a timeout. Some defensive plays as well. Pistons inside for Asar Thompson out of the Philly timeout.
Danis Jenkins.
102-83.
Danis Jenkins is seeing everything. And he hit that pass with the left hand. You know, guys these days can pass that basketball and put zip on it with either hand and be very accurate. I hope we get another look at that one.
Philadelphia, 4.5 minutes without scoring. Here's Tobias with a corner gun. It won't go. Rebound to Oubre. Maxey. Can't shake. Dennis Jenkins. Edgecombe has it topside. Oubre shot rolls off. Rebound Paul Reed. Crowd's starting to get restless here. A few people are heading for the exits. Tobias against Edgecombe. Turns to the baseline. Sends it and scores it. Tobias is level. Did these people good night. It's 104-83. Paul George inside for Barlow. And Dominic Barlow able to score.
You know, that's his first basket of the night. He's been around the basket with attempts on numerous occasions. Pistons have made it very hard for Barlow.
Dennis Jenkins inside, and Paul Reed draws around here.
It does.
Philly fans have given up.
Yeah. Hey, sports quiz time.
2 missed free throws there.
I think Paul just wanted to treat some of his former fans to some chicken.
It's in the hands of Barlow. Topside gun will not go for Justin Edwards. Paul Reed. Hands to Asar. Now Duncan Robinson works against Barlow. Cross-court bounce to Danis. Clock at 2. Scoops. Can't score it, but it comes off to Asar.
No hurry here.
Duncan Robinson with a long gun, and that one goes.
All right, nice. I like that.
Just made sure he worked hard on it. Philly with the ball. Down the lane in an attempt to score, and scoring is Trenton Watford. So it's 109-87. 2:46 left. Marcus Sasser off to Asar. Kevin Herter to the driving Asar, who lays it in. The Pistons embarrassing Philadelphia here on the Sixers' home court.
That's their 31st assist, and that's about what they're averaging since March 10th. 31 assists a game, 4th best in the NBA. That's where the Pistons are right now.
Steal by Asar. Pistons go inside, and Paul Reed lays it in. It's 113-87.
You know, possibly threatening for a championship. Well, since that time, with this victory that's happening now, they're going to be 8-2.
Trenton Watford inside for Barlow. Got him a hoop. It's 116-93.
Pistons with 7 guys in double figures tonight, folks. 7 guys.
Another team effort. Marcus Sasser's shot won't fall. Philly with the basketball. We're in the final minute, and they will not hit the century mark.
Now, the Pistons will win the East tonight. They'll clinch it tonight. But, George, they could still possibly, if they choose, they could still possibly win 60 games. And do you know no team in NBA history has ever lost 60 games and then 2 years later win 60 games? It hasn't happened in NBA history.
Wow. Miss on the Philly end. Paul Reed with the rebounds. In the East, everybody talking about Boston and New York and Cleveland and everybody else.